Fuck, I do that every time. There we go. I always go to the 2-person instead of the 3-person because we're 3 people here on Respawn Aimfire, the Kick-Ass Irreverent Gaming Podcast brought to you by Affable Idiots. We've got, I'm going to announce myself last because I'm going to go overboard with this intro. We've got with us here our normal-ass co-host, Adam Pilly. Adam Pilly Gumbert.
You want to try that again,
Adam,
Chad?
show me something cool. Show me something.
I'm going to show you 2 cool things. Well, no, we'll do this first. This is a Mountain Dew. I don't have Fruit Quake. Don't get upset. I didn't say a slur.
Adam, not Fruit Quake. Gumby.
I have a soda, and I've also got text messages, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
What flavor is that soda, then, if it's not Fruit Quake?
It's just zero sugar voodoo. Who do you voodoo bitch?
Oh, who do you voodoo bitch? Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got with us our RAF regular, Alex Poonch. Alex Poonch Cozina. Alex, show me something cool.
Fuck. Oh, damn it. I was reaching for my Vita, but it's plugged in right now. And if I unplug it, it's going to break everything. I was going to say, Chad, I would have laughed at the way that you introduced me, but when you said we've got, your voice, for whatever reason, became real distorted, real high for a second, and it freaked me the fuck out. Like, I was like genuinely really scared. It's like, it was like a weird-ass robot gasping its final breath. It was real scary.
And you've got me, one of your regular co-hosts, regular-ass, normal-ass co-hosts, Chad Michael Pants. I wear pants in this.
What are you guys even? What are you even going for on this, Chad?
We are going for fun words that start with a P that I started with Adam on accident. That's what we're going with. Oh, I'll show you something cool. Thank you for asking.
Hey, what do you got cool over there, Chad?
Look at this cool ass hoodie from Destiny. It's the Splicer hoodie. Yeah. The arms zip off to become a dope vest with a hood. Oh yeah, what? And also what? I got my Guardian Games medal. What? Gold medal winner. Oh, Warlocks, baby. Fucking suck it, tights. Fucking suck it. What else did I get? Oh, am I wearing Oryx Kingsfall raid ring? Because this is the first time that I ever beat a raid. The first time got this week. Well, what, baby? Oh, do I have two little totem statues that I don't understand the significance of yet because I'm not far enough in the game? God of War? I do. And a controller. Look what else I got.
How big is that desk?
I got dice. Oh, dice.
Wow.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Chicken.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm a huge fan. I will say this. I'm a huge fan of the God of War series. It, along with Kingdom Hearts, were like the 2 video game series that got me into PlayStation back in the day when I first got a PlayStation 2. Like, I actually should be the person picking up these special editions and enjoying them. But for whatever reason, I just didn't go for this one. I'm glad you're enjoying it, though.
I got something special for you, Chad. Give me a second.
Oh, show me it. I'm very excited for this one because, one, I just started with my boys a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So this is my first pair of dice set of dice that I've ever gotten. And like how fortuitous that God of War Collector's Edition came with a set of dice. Dopey dope McGropey rope. I've never beat a raid before on raid weekend, so eat my dust. Guardian Games! Warlocks for life! Oh, I'm such a good class because I'm a Titan and a Hunter, except whenever I need to stay alive, and then we need a well! That's right. And then look at this fucking controller. Look at this beautiful ass controller.
I like the controller. It's very cool.
It's a good one.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Hey, Chad.
I'm pretty sure this part and these parts are swappable on the DualSense Edge that's coming out. Like, I think all of the, like, doohickeys and significant things of it are all on the bottom or the back of the controller. So I'm going to try to swap out the God of War touchpad and blue sides onto the goddamn. That's what I'm going to do.
The Edge. I've got a cool thing. I was I was moving, right? And I had a box. I unpacked it so I could have more space.
Oh, is it all those games that you have up in your attic for like that you purchased for real?
Yeah, all those NES games that are legit.
Yeah.
If I had to give you one guess, let's say it's a collector's item, what do you think it would be?
You just
based on this podcast, based on what I'm bringing to you.
I would have thought Halo, Master Chief, or Predator, except for I know that you have those unpacked and like in your within reach most times. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say
we actually.
I'm gonna say it's a set of vampire teeth. It's a set of vampire teeth that you open it up and it has the baby alien mouth that comes out.
Okay.
I want to apologize. I was bringing up a completely unrelated point that's related to what we're doing right now. I don't have a guess. Go ahead.
Okay. Boom. Dale Earnhardt Senior commemorative race car with a little player card for him.
Oh, why do you have that?
So when I grew up as a kid, I had an uncle who was really, really into NASCAR because he's white. And he gave me a bunch of cars and stuff to collect. I've got trading cards with all these men. And this is a 1995 version of Dale Earnhardt Senior.
Is that still number 3?
It's number 3 of 12 in the Dale Earnhardt Limited Lifetime Series.
The car number.
Yes, it's a number 3 car.
Nice. Yeah, we had all sorts of like Snap-on... Or not? What's the name of like the models, like the main line brand of models?
Snap-on.
Are they Snap-on? Right? Yeah, we had like Crystal Dale Earnhardt cars. We had we had a bunch of them. We had radio control RC Dale Earnhardt cars. We were a Dale Earnhardt family.
It's a big deal.
I just want to say before we move on, real talk, all jokes and chortles aside, we should do an episode of the show where we do a show and tell of our most like interesting video game memorabilia. Doodads, things like things like your Dale Earnhardt
right there.
car.
That's the most interesting.
Here's what we should do for our April Fool's episode this year.
Oh God!
Here's what we should do. We should all dress up like Dale Earnhardt, and we have to, without any research, we have to do the entire show in our best Dale Earnhardt impression.
Oh yeah,
with Dale Earnhardt base level knowledge. Like if we're talking about games or video, like we have to say all the same things that Dale Earnhardt would say, not that we would say. That's gonna be our April Fool's
I love
episode.
my son Dale Earnhardt Jr. He'll be a good racer one day. Anyways, there you go.
Oh man, whew. Love all the Destiny chat in the Twitch chat over here.
We're
Pork Chop Warlock Gang. That's right. Look at that. We've got Adam, we've got me, we've got Pork Chop, all Warlocks, babies. Alex, what did you play as when you played with us?
What raid? I want to say it was the raid where there was a big dude who was a robot who had like a big goblet of wine or space juice.
Not the raid. What character class? Were you a Titan, a Warlock, or a Hunter?
Oh. I was a Warlock, I want to say.
You were a Warlock? I remember us being like, me, Matt, and Dallas were all Titans. I know that for sure. And then I'm pretty sure like maybe everyone but you, Alex, was a Titan. It was like full on Titans, and it was the worst idea.
I had like the electrocution Sith special ability, which I'm pretty sure is a Warlock thing. So yeah, I was definitely a Warlock.
Yes. Oh, Mask Llama bringing up April Fool's Day episodes. Those are always special. Go back in our timeline and listen to our April Fool's episodes. They're good. Speaking of April Fool's, surprise! You thought you were going to have a boring time. Today is actually going to be fun. Well, we're going to get ready for Wizard School. We're going to talk about N7 Day. We're going to talk about nerd games getting exclusive windows on certain platforms. But first, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Indie World announcements. This comes from Logan Plant at IGN. And don't worry, we're definitely going to get to Ragnarok. We're going to get to Ragnarok right after this main quest.
Who played Ragnarok? Nothing.
We all played Ragnarok in different names, according to these. All right. So Nintendo Indie World announcements. Nintendo, like in its normal fashion, announced an Indie World thing like 36 hours in advance. And they gave us a 25-minute presentation. And they showed some updates on some previously released titles, a couple of exciting ports, and some brand new surprises. I'm going to be honest with both of you. Nothing in here really like super blew my tits off. So if I'm just going to go through these things, shout at me to stop if you want to say something. I know you're going to talk about Rogue Legacy too, Adam. So we'll make sure to hang out there.
No, Chad, look what I've highlighted.
Hold on, I'm going down. Oh, fuck me. How did I miss that? Okay. Yeah, I'll see.
We'll continue.
The long-awaited sequel to 2017's Golf Story, Sports Story is finally hitting Nintendo Switch next month. The trailer showed off a variety of sports, but when you're not competing, you'll be exploring dungeons, hanging out at the mall, or solving mysteries. If you're a fan of roguelites, you want to mention something about Sports Story?
Oh no, I haven't played a Golf Story, but people love that shit, and they were really excited for this one. I haven't played it, but people are so horny for the stories, you know?
Horny Stories, Golf Edition. Esteemed roguelite, Rogue Legacy 2 is out now. Now, Adam, I know you're a big Rogue person. Is my understanding this game was already out on other platforms. It's just now out on Switch. Is that correct?
It was early access PC, came out in full release on PC in like late summer, and now this is its console release, first console release.
Got it. Is it also out on other platforms, or is it just Switch?
I don't know. Someone should go to Google. I really have no idea.
Okay,
got it. Somewhere else.
It was like a full everything. I think I remember playing that on Vita.
Yeah, it was Vita, PlayStation 4 back in the day.
Gotcha.
And I know this because I actually have something to confess right here and right now. I got the platinum in the original Rogue Legacy. Now, let me tell you, that was a pretty challenging platinum on many accounts. Chad opening up his bottle just as I'm about to speak, as per usual. But the hardest trophy in that particular platinum list is you had to complete the trophy dying 15 or less times.
Oh my God.
You two are trying so hard to fuck with me. And I'm going to come clean right here, right now. The way that I got that platinum trophy was for that particular very hard trophy. I basically would transfer over my save to my PlayStation Vita and then back to my PlayStation 4 whenever I would die. So I would make a save before I was about to attempt a new run. I would do as well as I possibly could. If I did as well as I possibly could, I would move on to the next one, make a new save. If I didn't do as well as I could, if I died prematurely, I would transfer to the save to the Vita and then transfer it back to the PlayStation 4. And that way I got around whatever check would have auto-saved the game for me and prevented me from save scumming like that.
Nice. Porkchop in the chat says, Alex is a cheater. Confirmed. Shake my head.
That's true. By the way,
what can I say?
It's true. Can't deny it. Rogue Legacy 2 came out on Xbox on April 28th, and then November 9th is for Switch. So yes, by the way, Game of the Year candidate. So if you have a Switch and you haven't played it yet, you should, because that game is phenomenal.
Shit.
Is it like, so like, obviously I've been hearing about this game for months now in 2022. Like, how substantially different is it from the original version of the game? Because I really, really loved that game back in the day. One of my favorite Vita games, definitely also a pretty strong PlayStation 4 contender. Like, what does this game do that makes it a 2022 Game of the Year contender?
I would just say, like, you know, you're like, Rogue Legacy was cool. I like that. It was a nice little indie game. And then someone came along and said, here's 10 times the budget. Make it better. It's basically how Rogue Legacy, the art style is great. It does this, so I believe it's 3D, but then they make it 2D. So, it's, if you could turn the camera, the models are actually 3D, but they show it to you in a 2D plane. It looks great, runs great, a lot. It's bigger and better, Rogue Legacy 1, and it's phenomenal. Okay. That's my best pitch for it. So everyone play that, especially if you got a Switch. Play it on the go.
Pepper Grinder is a new action adventure from Devolver Digital. Now, this one did actually, my tits moved on this one. They weren't blown back, but they moved. This gorgeous pixel art action adventure features super fast action with fluid drill combat. Along the way, you'll collect treasure and other riches and use them to upgrade Pepper or unlock more paths on the world map. So this was fun. I feel like I've seen this gameplay somewhere in a 2D platform, but I can't really I can't really think of what it is. Like, you're just digging through little things really quickly. I can't think of another game
either. I just know I saw Devolver and I'm like, you know what? You got my interest.
Yep.
You know, we love them here. Well, I love them. I don't know about you. You probably hate them, but I think Devolver's great. So,
Have a Nice Death coming to Nintendo Switch. The game stars Grim Reaper himself. Scrolled too far, lost my place. Oh, with a corporate twist, coming to Nintendo Switch on March 22nd, 2023. This is watching this Nintendo presentation was the first time I realized how fucking close March is. I was like seeing things coming in March. I was like, oh, why are they talking about this now? And I was like, oh, because that's 4 months away.
Yeah, it's 4 months. Yeah.
We played Coffee Talk 1 as a barf game a little bit. I slept through some of it, but if you enjoyed Coffee Talk, you can play Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. It's a sequel to the 2020 indie game Coffee Talk. Comes to Nintendo Switch spring 2023.
A little bit of
yeah, go for it, Alex.
There's been like a 20-30 minute demo of this game that's been online for a little while. Seems like a very worthy continuation of the original Coffee Talk. Will be interesting to see how the game will feel different from the original Coffee Talk, if at all, considering that Mohammed Fahmy, who was the main creator and developer of the original Coffee Talk, died earlier this year. But I mean, yeah, still looking forward to it. I had a lot of fun with the original.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like the little more than Chad. Again, lo-fi hip-hop beats to study to the video game. And I'm excited for 2.
They even straight up called that out in the Nintendo presentation. Like, this is a fun game where you'll get to meet people, blah, 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 while listening to lo-fi music. And I was like, yep. I know a lot of people have bought this game and haven't played it. Brent, Dallas, Matt. But now you have another platform you can buy it on. Nintendo Switch had a sizzle reel of indie games, including Inscription, coming on December 1st. It's coming up soon.
I will say this right here, right now. I'm going to continue through with getting the platinum for Inscription on my PlayStation 5. I really, really, really do wish I had the opportunity to play it on the go. Obviously, I can't earn any trophies on the Nintendo Switch, but I really, if you're out there itching to get Inscription and the Switch version of the game seems attractive to you because you don't care about trophies like me, by all means go and get it, because I think this might be the best way to play the game, especially once you get into a lot of the post-game stuff, and it's just like how well can I play through this one section of the game with these stipulations and whatnot.
Yeah, that's wild. I freaking, if remote play, actually, you know what? Remote play might be a good fit for this game. Because there's not a ton of, it's just mostly like tapping on things and buttons and not necessarily like moving in third person. Okay. Yeah, that might be good if you don't want to play it on Nintendo Switch, but you still want to play it on the go, and you still want to get trophies, remote play that shit, baby.
Or you should just play it because it's one of the best games of the, actually, I would say it's the best game made last year.
You should just play it. You should just play it. 2022 GOTY of the year.
2021 GOTY.
2021 GOTY, 2022 GOTY. It may come to iOS next year, and then it makes it 2023
in perpetuity. It's just always game of the year forever, no matter what.
So those are some of the major hitters from the Nintendo Indie World announcements. Was there anything else here that wasn't mentioned that you two were like, oh my god, how are we not talking about?
Being the person who got the stories together, I handpicked the ones that I thought were interesting. So that's sort of there for me. There was a lot of stuff. It was a good sized presentation, but for me, it's like the stuff that we talked about at the top was like, that shit's dope. The other stuff, I don't know, maybe if it comes to Game Pass or whatever, I might check it out. But the ones we talked about are the things I'm excited for. WrestleQuest might be cool, but that's like
I did not watch this presentation live, not because none of these games are of no interest to me, but just because, you know, you don't need to make an event out of this IMO.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make this metal, like when it's regular, it's too low and people can't see it. So there we go. I just double wrapped it around my neck so everyone can see it on the video. I'm also just going to tilt my monitor down so everyone can see lower on my chest. Now you can see my boobs.
You just really want to show off that metal.
All right. That's it for our main quest and the Nintendo Indie World announcements. Let's move on to playtime. We talk about what we played this week. I want to talk about everything non-God of War first.
Okay.
So, Alex, it looks like you've only got God of War listed on here. Adam, it looks like you've got maybe God of War and then also Vaulted Seals.
Victoria's Secret.
Oh, Victoria's Secret. Adam, tell me about Victoria's Secret.
No, so they make clothes for women. Bras, panties, shirts, socks, perfumes, all the good stuff. It's a pretty cool place.
Perfume is my favorite clothing item for women.
I love it. Put it all over me. But no, I played Vampire Survivors, which came out to full access, and people have been talking about it. I'm like, all right, let me go back, because I played the early access, played the full release. That's very, very good. That's a game where you just walk around, and it's like, oh, that was good. I survived 11 minutes. I'll try one more time, and then it's like 2 hours later. So it's very cool, and it's just assets from fucking Castlevania. and then made a video game out of it. It's really good. So yeah,
And it's like what, $4?
It's so
a banana,
cheap.
Mike.
He
What
raised
would
the
it cost?
price. I remember it was like $3. He's like, guys, I'm about to raise the price. Everyone pay attention. He raised it by like $2 or something. It's like $5 now. It's like, okay, relax. But no, it's phenomenal. It's on Game Pass for PC and Xbox. Full release, so I think it's everywhere. You should play Vampire Survivors if you have any interest in like a retro walk around, play yourself game. It's really, really good.
I am surprised by how many people have been saying that this is a potential Game of the Year candidate. I don't think it's going to show up on Jeff Keighley's Game Awards like nomination list come next week, but that's cool.
I don't know. The people talking about it are the people who vote on it, so
That is true.
you never know.
What? You know how at the very end of the Game Awards, they do that like big orchestral sweep in which they combine different songs and motifs from the various games that came out that year. Like what would they use from Vampire Survivor for its section of the orchestra?
I have podcasts on when I play it. I have no idea what the music sounds
Destiny's
like.
Child,
Maybe-
I'm a Survivor, but they're covered in blood.
Oh, I like that.
or they could just play like various clips from podcasts. They could just do
It's
that.
like, yeah, it's just like
It's just Greg
that
Miller
comedian.
sobbing about Portillo dying. That's
Oh, that's
for anyone who
right.
wasn't listening
Damn
before
it.
the show. I listened to that recently and just sobbed in the shower.
Riveting content to get you juiced to play Vampire Survivor. That one.
Joe Rogan's like, okay, here's another thing to avoid a vaccination. Do this instead. Aliens, weed, That's a good
Yep.
soundtrack to Vampire Survivors. Good stuff.
Sorry, my choker came loose. I'm just like, did you ever read that story as a kid? I think it was like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or something. Whatever that thing is, where the girl has the ribbon around her neck,
right?
and then her boyfriend's like, "Untie your ribbon, untie your ribbon." She's like, "No," and then finally she does, and her head falls off.
Her head falls off?
Yeah.
I just remember the one with the spider coming out of the girl's zit, and then a bunch of spiders come out of her
Oh,
body.
yuck, McDuck. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm playing more Magic the Gathering Magic Arena, and I'm sticking with it. I'm very excited. Again, the sense of progression in that game. I'm just getting so many decks and so many cool things. Like I got a whole werewolf deck, a vampire deck, ninja deck. It's just so fucking cool. I'm playing it a lot.
Vampire, werewolves, and ninjas, huh?
Yeah, man, it's so freaking cool. I am looking for, and you can do like multi-person battles in that thing too. So like, looking for some people to play against. If anyone's out there and they're like, I want to play Magic.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't play Magic, but I know Magic did a crossover with Dungeons and Dragons, and I think it did like a Baldur's Gate set. Is that in the digital?
It is. Yeah, when you earn coins, like you unlock booster packs, you can choose what season, I guess, of cards, or what do they call those?
Sets?
Sets, yeah. And you can choose, I want cards from the werewolf set. I want cards from the Baldur's Gate set. I want cards from, yeah. So you can choose which set you want to get
I have to
booster cards
download
from.
that just to get that Baldur's Gate stuff. All right.
Yeah, bruh. Before we talk about Ragnarok 2, I want to briefly mention I got today in El Mailo, and that's Spanish for the post. I got an analog pocket. Oh shit.
That's right.
Oh shit. What is this? It's that thing that plays like cartridges from your childhood in this little Game Boy type thing. Very, very brief impressions on it. One, I was delighted and also a little frustrated to remember analog cartridges where you have to blow in all the cartridges all the time in order for it to work. Like I have a ton of cartridges that I pre-ordered this thing 1,000 years ago. And so I've been collecting things in anticipation of playing it. So like I've got things like Battleship for the original Game Boy. I've got like E.T. and the Cosmic Garden. I've got...
How's that one? Because I knew that game existed because many years ago, I had looked into like, were there any other ET games other than the infamous Atari one? How is that one?
So I've played it for about 45 seconds just to see what it looked like on this thing. I had to blow on it and put it in there like 3 times in order for it to work. But visually, it is stunning. It's a visually stunning Game Boy Color game. Very vibrant.
Whoa.
Actually, just like in general, this thing like you can switch back and forth between like Game Boy Color LCD, and then this has a stupid display resolution. I think it's something like 2K or something like that in this tiny screen.
Ooh.
And it's just like gorgeous. One thing I was very upset about was in a Game on Game show years ago, we brought up the most atrocious graphics on a video game I think I've ever seen, and that is NSYNC Get to the Show.
Why do you have that cartridge?
Because it came up
looking
on
this up now.
It came up on Game Show, and I was in a store in Rhode Island last week called Time Capsule. Now I was in the store getting some games. That's where I also got E.T. and Battleship. I also have a bunch of other games like Game Boy Advance games and Donkey Kong Country and Game Gear games and all that kind of shit. But I specifically saw this in their little bin of things for $4, and I was like, no fucking way. I was so excited to get this thing. Turns out I get it home and it's broken. Can't play it. Put it in, it says error. I go and put it in my actual Game Boy Advance. It's just a blank screen. It's just like, motherfucker. So like, I don't want to call anyone out, but Time Capsule in Rhode Island, you burnt.
I'm okay. I'm looking at footage of this NSYNC Get to the Show game. So it seems like the game is divided into two parts. The first part is like, it's kind of like akin to like the top-down 2D Grand Theft Auto games where you're driving a car to get to the show, per the name of the game. But then it seems like once you get to the show itself, it's like this weird like memorization game. Or no. You know what? It's more like a whack-a-mole, except your whacker is like a star icon, and the moles are like the various members of NSYNC and a dog.
I'm seeing this screenshot of like JC trying to build a Subway sandwich. Like
what?
Like there are ingredients of a sub falling from the sky and he has to catch them on a tray on his head in order.
Oh, yeah.
But the screenshot in particular of them like performing on stage is just like disgusting.
There's them in a little card from a top down. There's them with burgers on their heads.
Yeah.
By the way, I just typed in bad NSYNC game and this was #1 popped up. The one with them on stage is holy wow.
Hold on. There's a part where they're playing. There's a part where they're playing dodgeball.
I was going to stream this now that I've got the analog pocket. It has a dock that you can display out to. I was going to stream the NSYNC game, but it's fucking broken.
Chad, we gotta
Time
make this
Capsule in
happen.
Rhode Island.
You know how many ones of people would show up to watch that stream? We have to do it.
I'm going to do a quick Amazon search to see. Actually, you know what? I bought the game legally, so I can download the ROM to it.
Absolutely.
And there is an emulator in the Analog Pocket. Speaking of, last impressions of Analog Pocket. Very premium device. I freaking love this thing. It's incredible. It does have the same kind of like thing. One of the issues that I have with the Steam Deck, where it's just like the OS is not beautiful and user friendly like I'm used to with all my Apple products. Like you turn it on and there's just white text on a black background. It's like, play the game. Here's open FPGA, whatever. And it's just like, okay. But yeah, the very first thing you have to do is you turn it on. It's like, here's how all the buttons work. Now update the firmware. And it gives you a QR code. And you have to scan the QR code with your phone, download a firmware file, put it on your computer, put it on a micro SD card, put it in this thing, and then it updates the firmware via the micro SD card. It's like, man, that's clunky as fuck. But once it's there, it's great. It's wonderful.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm hoping that there are like OS skins that I can put on this thing to make it a more beautiful user experience. And I'm assuming there's a bunch of stuff out there. But yeah, there's also emulation now for up to SNES era and Game Boy Advance. So you can load ROMs and other things that you have legally acquired onto a micro SD card and put it right in this thing.
That's pretty cool.
I'm very excited for it. I have a huge like collection of Game Gear games that I've been wanting to just like, I've got the dock too, so I can like stream it all. So we're going to play a lot of Sonic games. Sonic Chaos, Sonic Blast, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Green Machine. We've got a bunch of stuff.
I think you had an extra word in there.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. It's not like green beans. It's not green beans. It's just mean beans. Yep. So yeah, very excited for this and this future. Again, I've played with it for maybe like 6 minutes total.
Are you able to get those now, or are they still like you had to have pre-ordered 3 years ago?
Mine, yeah, I pre-ordered mine 1,000, and I was in wave 2 of 3. So people still have pre-ordered it and are waiting until Q1 of next year to get theirs. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see.
Very cool.
Ragnarok. Let's talk God of War Ragnarok. I just want to get, before we get into impressions of stuff like that, I just want to get an idea of like how much time y'all have put in. Because I understand. Well, Adam, I'm assuming R on your list means Ragnarok. Is that correct?
Yes, it does stand for Ragnarok. I watched Thor Ragnarok again. Great movie. Fucking love it.
I've put in maybe 25 hours so far. And I'm like doing every single freaking side quest and clearing out every single land and all that kind of stuff as I come across it. So I put in a lot of time. I don't know how far I am though necessarily. But Alex, what's your hour count ish?
I want to say that I'm maybe 12 or so hours, and I'm also trying to be very thorough. I'm trying to do as many side quests as is possible, but I don't have an exact number off top.
Okay. Adam, where are you at?
I think my clock says 22, and also doing all my the side stuff as I get there, you know?
Nice. Yeah. There will be no spoiler discussion in this. Zero spoilers for this game right now. So don't worry if you're
We
listening.
can't talk about how Chris Hemsworth shows up at the end and kills
Adam, I
Chris.
just said no spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Porkchop in here. So first of all, yeah, Porkchop says, I think I'm like 11 hours in and mainlining it. He texted me early this morning and said, dude, I'm at this part and this part, or no, it was yesterday. I'm at this part and it's so hard. I was like, you just started this game, and I got to it about 20 hours in. What do you do? So yeah, 11 hours for him is like 20 hours for me.
Oh, because he's going straight through. Yeah,
He's
you
just
could
going
definitely
straight
skip
through.
all the side stuff if you want to.
Yeah.
Easy.
What are some of your first impressions of this game? How's it compared to 2018? Are you excited? Are you loving it? And what are you frustrated about? Hate it? Et cetera, et cetera. Alex,
I
let's
know
start
Alex
with you.
hates it.
Yeah,
So,
I know Alex hates it. He
first.
put it on Twitter that he thinks it's the worst game of the year and that like freaking Splatoon 3 is going to blow it out of the water.
All right. Let's
Exact words from Alex.
Jesus. I didn't even Splatoon 3 wasn't even brought up.
Well,
Here's what I said
spirit.
on Twitter. This game features some of the highest highs, some of the best moments that I've ever experienced in any God of War game.
Yes.
And it has some of the lowest lows that I've experienced in any God of War game so far. Now, a couple of caveats here. The amount of highs that this game has outnumber the amount of lows that this game has by like definitely like a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, whatever ratio. Like this game is consistently way more amazing than it is disappointing. Second thing is the lows of this game, by the standards of all the other games that I play on a daily basis, way higher than even those games. Even at its worst, this game is still enjoyable, and I want to be very clear about that. I only am occasionally disappointed by this game because when this game is really going, it's that good. And I want to be very kind of clear about that. But yeah, my thing about this game is I just feel like every now and then, I think that the game gets a little bit, I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to delve into any kind of spoilers, but I think that the game tends to get a little bit chatty a little bit too often, and I think needs to let you, the player, kind of live in its moments a little bit more. On Twitter right now, a lot of people have been talking about how the game kind of consistently spoils and ruins puzzles that you're trying to solve as you're trying to solve them. A lot of people have been saying, going forward, video game developers should allow you to toggle on how often you want your AI companions to offer up solutions to puzzles you're trying to solve. I agree with all that. I am all for all that. I'm not even just talking about that, though. I'm talking about just walking through various environments, sort of taking in the beauty around you, and then having some little shit burger come in by the side and be like, yeah, Kratos, what do you think about this, huh? Am I annoying? Am I endearing? How do you like my presence around here? And I'm just like, man. So one thing that I don't know if I've brought this up over the course of the past few weeks, but I actually have been playing God of War 2 on the PlayStation Vita concurrently to me playing this game. My original plan was to beat...
When you said God of War 2, I was like, you're playing Ragnarok? So are you remote playing?
No.
You can't
The
remote play
original
PS5.
God of War 2 from 2012 that was ported to the Vita in like 2013 or whatever. I've been playing that game concurrently to this one. The original plan was I was going to beat this on the Vita before Ragnarok, but I was only able to really get around to it until now. And, that game is dated in a lot of ways compared to Ragnarok. Definitely does not measure up to it in terms of sheer production values by, today's standards. But I do love just how much God of War 2 just sort of leaves you alone with Kratos and your own thoughts as he explores the oftentimes, empty, decrepit, kind of sad, lonely environments that he travels through. And I wish that this game had a little bit more of that. And I also wish that it did a better job of breaking up some of its segments that may or may not go on for too long, but that I can't get into much more detail about here because I would be getting into severe spoilers. All that aside, the game is very, very good, though. And I am enjoying myself quite a bit.
I've definitely seen... Sorry, my dog pulled on something and I was like, what are you pulling down? Is this toy? I have definitely seen, like, I think I saw Aaron Sini from the Stadia podcast. I think I saw him on Twitter saying the same thing, where it's like, I just wish there was an option to tell people to shut up. I personally, there is an option. I remember seeing this in the accessibility, or in one of the settings, that like you can turn on and off puzzle hints. Although I have puzzle hints off, I don't know what it would be if it's on, and they do seem chatty during the puzzles anyway. I'm personally playing though with the HUD off, and I have it assigned to just a swipe gesture if I want to like check my health before I go into a fight or something like that. So I do appreciate how chatty they are, especially in combat. Like, behind you, to your left, flanking on the right. Like, that kind of stuff is really helpful for me, because that's how I know things are coming. And I also am really into the lore. I think it's really great. Like, we're playing Norse mythology, which is compared to Greek mythology, is like really, really underrepresented in a lot of things. So I don't know much at all about Norse mythology, so I appreciate all of the context and conversations going on around it. And I remember even in the first game, like, anytime we were in a canoe, I'd be like, cool, I'm just going to sit in the middle of the water and listen to Mimir, because I'm not going to interrupt him, because this is so fascinating. So like, I appreciate that aspect of it. The puzzles, to me, honestly, I think anyone who listens to the podcast regularly knows that, like, I'm not a puzzle person. I don't enjoy, like, if I have to look at a puzzle and think for more than 90 seconds, I'm frustrated and I want to quit. So I appreciate sometimes, and I saw Pork Chop in here too, said the same thing, like, some of these puzzles, like, if they didn't talk to me and tell me what they were, I'd have gotten frustrated and quit. So like, I appreciate all of this, but I do agree with you that it is non-stop chat. It just happens to be all the right things for me right now in the way that I'm playing it. But yeah, I kind of wish there was an option to say, hey, maybe just shut up. Maybe just shut up. Because I like it, but kid. Not everyone wants it. Otherwise, though, the game is fantastic. It looks incredible. It feels like it takes everything that we played from God of War 1 and like levels it up a little bit. I do appreciate that, like, some of the combat things that you had to unlock in the first game, you already have access to. It didn't like completely Metroid you, where you lose everything. You're like, you've got your weapons, you've got like some of the attacks, like deflecting projectiles with your shield and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. The upgrades feel meaningful. I feel like I'm getting cool new items, and the armor and enchantments and all of the, like, that's all deeper than I want it to be, but what I appreciate is that I don't have to necessarily go in there and tweak everything in order to be successful in the game.
That's the thing. The menus they're busy, to say the least. There's a lot going on in them, but I feel like I've been able to make quite a bit of progress in the game without having to fit too much around in them, which is a good thing, because there definitely have been games that I played in the past where, like, I'm just not making progress, and it's like, oh, that's because you have to go in and you have to min-max this out and figure out what your build is going to be if you want to make any actual substantial progress. And I do appreciate that.
My final thing that I'll say about it, again, non-spoilery, we all know that Thor is in this game. There are also other characters that you might expect from Norse mythology that also appear in this game. And I think right now, I'm loving their representations in this and the way that they are portrayed. And to me, it kind of brings me back to the Telltale Batman games, where it's like, oh yeah, I know Joker, I know Harley Quinn, but like, this is a completely different take that I was never expecting on them. And I kind of feel that way about Thor and some other characters in this. Was like, oh man, I have no idea how this version of Thor would react, or how this version of this character would react. So I'm appreciating that and learning some of these characters for the first time that I thought I knew already. Adam,
same.
What's up with this game to you?
That's all right. It's pretty good. You know, you throw the axe and you call it back. That's really fun. No, I like. So a lot of the same things, you know, people have been saying online, you guys have talked about. It feels like a better 2018. I really, really enjoy the characters and the acting. All that shit's great. Top notch. And again, no spoilers, but there are things that they do with the characters that I really, really enjoy over 2018. I can talk, I mean, you guys know you've played it, but there are things that, like, you know, change up how you play that I'm like, oh, that's cool. Not the one you're thinking either. With a Y, not where you expect it. But yeah, no, I love the story stuff. All that's going great so far. The actors are great. You know, all the betrayals are really cool. I fucking love Thor. Holy shit, the first time you meet that first encounter, I mean, it's the very beginning of the game. That first encounter with Thor is fucking awesome.
It's so tense.
So good. So yeah, there's all that stuff good. When it comes to gameplay, it's like, yeah, I do. It feels about the same or a little bit better. I don't know how I'm liking going to the worlds. I guess I'll leave it at that. It feels like get on some sort of mode of transportation, go down a straight line. Here's a big circle area to explore. Go down another line with a boat or a sled, and here's another thing. So
is it that you like the much kind of more methodical way of traveling between realms in 2018? Like you liked how much pomp and circumstance there was in that game compared to this one?
I would just say that I like this game and I like doing the things. It's just traveling to the things, doing the same travel to the thing over and over. I don't like. Mm-hmm. Again, that's such a small nitpick. I mean, we're just talking about small nitpicks. So I like everything else about it, but it is very much, we're going to do an awesome epic thing. We're going to go through this big, awesome thing. Now you're getting the open world, go left or go right to go to the story, or go right to go to open world. And it is get on a sled or get on a boat and go to the 3 islands that are in the middle of this big circle.
Right.
And then do the thing. And it's like, all right, like I'm enjoying it, but I'm like, I don't know. Do I need to go to these 3 puzzles in this big circle every single time? But I'm doing it and still enjoying it. So I'm just saying, I'm nitpicking because I think the game's excellent. And I love the characters, and I want to see where the story goes. That's my main thing. Gameplay and open world design are fine. It's whatever. It's getting me through because I like to see Kratos do his thing. So very good.
I will say this. I will say this, Adam. At the end of the previous podcast, you kind of really nudged me to give Elden Ring a try. And at the time, I was kind of like, it seems like God of War Ragnarok has got Game of the Year 2022 in the bag. I don't know if I need to try Elden Ring. Now, having played through quite a bit of God of War Ragnarok, having really enjoyed it, but having had some issues with it here and there, I actually feel more motivated now than before to give Elden Ring its due and see how it fares up to Ragnarok, actually.
Just got to see, right?
Yeah.
But again, no spoilers. This game is I would say it's much more of an epic scale than 2018, which that shit I love. So we'll see by the end of this game if the going down a road to an open area, if that shit matters, if I'm doing crazy shit and fucking climbing on Kronos to kill him kind of shit again.
And that's a good point. We'll like, I've had my qualms here and there with the way that the game is rolled out so far, but like, maybe I'll get to the end of the game and I'll be like, oh, okay, the game had a bit of a sophomore slump, but most of the rest of it was excellent. And I can forgive that brief pain point.
Yeah, I remember someone talking about in a review, they're like, I love this game. They gave it, I think it was Andy Cortez. Kind of funny. He's like, it's 5 out. It's great. He's like, the pacing in the middle is a little bit slow. And maybe that's the point I'm in right now. Where it's like, I'm just doing the thing.
It could also be that like we are going through every. Do I sound robot-y to you guys right now?
No, you're fine.
Okay, you're okay.
Maybe a little slow.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. Comcast was having some issues while y'all were talking, so I was just
letting
you. Yeah, surprise. But yeah, I think part of that might just be the way that you and I are playing it right now too, where it's just like we are poking our noses in every single corner, doing every quest,
killing all those birds,
killing every fucking bird.
So. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. Some people from the chat here, Porkchop saying the only thing I dislike about it is they took the bottom D-pad away from where the 2018 game was, let you turn around 180. No spoilers, that's on purpose. But you can remap that. If you can remap it to a swipe gesture in the settings. So you can like swipe down on the touchpad to turn around 180.
Things do attack you from the sides and the back a lot more in this game, though. I see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because I do the parry shield because I'm a fucking boss, right? And I'm always gotta just turn a little bit to parry people sometimes.
DF and Smitty says the only bad part is climbing the chains. I agree, but I think it feels and appears worse in this game than it did in the other one because they optimize movement a little bit. Like they now have the ability to. There's a point where you just fucking link your chain and pull yourself up really quickly. And so like maneuvering is so much more efficient now that when you do come across that odd chain that you do have to climb manually, you're like, this is the slowest thing I've ever fucking done in my life. We will have much more on God of War Ragnarok over the coming weeks. I assume we're going to be doing a spoiler chat sometime here in the next week or two. I've got the whole week of Thanksgiving off, so excuse me. So like if y'all want to beat it by Thanksgiving, we can do a spoiler chat.
I'm going to try to beat it as hard and as fast as I can. The thing is I really do beat it as hard and as fast as I can. I just walked right into that one.
Wait till we stop streaming. We can't do that on Twitch.
The thing is I really do want to savor this game as much as possible. I do want to be very thorough with the, side content and whatnot. So we'll see. I will try as hard as I can, though.
Dope. That's it for playtime. Let's talk about a few quests we have in our quest log this week, starting with the Hogwarts Gameplay Showcase. This information comes from Kat Bailey at IGN. Avalanche. I'm 2 Mountain Dews in right now. Let's go. Avalanche Software and Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment showed off a host of new gameplay during a new Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy showcase. A 45-minute showcase, everyone.
Holy balls.
I watched the whole thing today. Even though I was like halfway through it and I was like, I'm not going to watch the rest of this because I don't want to be spoiled on it. I'm just going to kind of experience it myself. And then I just couldn't stop watching. So,
Chad, I watch an hour-long live stream for Marvel's Midnight Suns every other week. I get it. It's fine.
The showcase showed off the character creator, combat, user interface, and more. We got some information about some fresh details on various quests and collectibles and other aspects of the game that will be very familiar if you have any knowledge of open-world games and RPGs. One of the main conceits that I thought was interesting of like why you have to do all of this kind of stuff so quickly and back to back is that your main character is behind some other students, so you have to do some stuff to catch up to them. Classes, like actually going to potions class, going to defense against the dark arts, that kind of stuff, will be optional side quests and provide you an opportunity to advance your spells and your knowledge and learn more about professors. So that's cool that like all of those classes are things you could do on the side if you want to, but they're not necessarily the main thing. The showcase also included a look at the character creator, which is really robust, has a variety of hairstyles, including dreadlocks and cornrows, as well as freckles and other options. And then finally, the showcase concluded with a brief look at combat as the player battled a dummy in the dueling club, which is housed in the Hogwarts Clock Tower. Housed in the Hogwarts Clock Tower. That's fun to say.
Housed in the Hogwarts Clock Tower.
The developers also hinted at what lies beyond the walls of Hogwarts, promising that players will be able to visit every area they can see. See that mountain over there? You can go to it.
You can go to it, yeah.
While looking over the vast Scottish landscape.
Number one thing for me here, before you stalk. Scotland? I did not know that Hogwarts was in Scotland.
I also was surprised to learn that now as well. Yes.
I mean,
or maybe this is like canonically it has to be in Scotland because it has to be different enough for Harry Potter. I don't know.
Where is Hogwarts?
I mean, it's just one of those things where like I've never really actively thought about it, but I guess it would make sense. Like it takes place in the northern part of the Great Isle of Britain, and it makes sense that it probably would be in Scotland, by means of deduction.
Yeah, I guess they get on a train in London and they go for several hours. I mean, there's not many places you could travel for several hours by train and still be on that island.
You do Google. Awful lady we won't mention has said in interviews that she always imagined Hogwarts to be in Scotland.
Oh.
So
Great Scott.
That's where it's supposed to be. The Highlands of Scotland, specifically.
The Highlands of Scotland. That's not Scottish accent.
I don't know what that was. But
I watched grinder. It seems the combat seems fun. I like that you have like your spells are attached to your right trigger. So you hold the right trigger, and then your 4 face buttons are you choose a spell to use. And they said that over time you'll be able to get like 16 of those spells attached to that too that you can quickly go through. So like that's really cool to be in combat and on the fly. I think which of these 16 spells we need to pull out for which situation. That sounds fun. Just like any other open world game, I think my one criticism of it right now is that everyone has open world face. And they're just like, they're completely lifeless in their eyes when they talk to you. I'm just
the characters.
Yeah, you can't
you can't
avoid
open world face.
Yeah, they all do. And no matter their emotion, hello, help me get this thing out of the thing. And I'll be very happy. And their eyes are just dead the whole time and they're expressionless. But that's open world games. You can't do that. You can't have every scene be God of War style facial expression. Last of Us Part 2 style facial expression in an open world game. But aside from that, I'm very excited. Can't wait for this game to come out next year. I'm going to play it
February 10th.
Hard. February 10th.
This game doesn't...
7 days before my birthday.
I don't mean to cast too much shade here at the last second. This game doesn't look that bad, but after watching Gotham Knights kind of shit the bed on release, which was another big WB Games property, I can't help but feel a little bit apprehensive about this game.
I'm not going to lie. I played... admittedly like 6 minutes of Gotham Knights while I was in Rhode Island. I played about like 6 minutes of it. And I enjoyed what I played. I thought the combat was fun. I thought it was kind of dynamic. I jumped in, like someone had, I think Dallas, I was playing on Dallas's account. He'd already jumped in and done a bunch of stuff. So I was playing with a leveled up character already, but I enjoyed it. And it made me think I'll probably buy this on sale at Black Friday. But yes, I agree. WB does not like inspire the most hope with their recent track record of stuff either.
We'll see.
Next up, news from N7 Day. No, that does not stand for Nanotechnology 7. That's N7, November 7th. Like the get it? Because N is something different. And this comes from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. For N7 Day, BioWare has teased the next Mass Effect game with a piece of concept art that appears to be a mass relay being built or rebuilt. A video of the concept art that slightly moves was released on Twitter alongside a short message from BioWare. The message said, "Happy N7 Day from across the stars. We found this interesting footage. You may want to microscope or magnifying glass emoji a bit more closely." Fans quickly deciphered the message hidden within, and it is Liara saying, "The council will be furious, although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance." So, V excited for that?
The prevailing theory here is that this is Cerberus, the villainous organization from primarily Mass Effect 2 and 3, although they did also appear in Mass Effect 1, building these like artificial mass relays. Makes total sense. Makes perfect sense that they would, be the kind of villainous organization to build these things, and that Liara and the council would be upset about. Kind of surprised that they're still around after the events of Mass Effect 3. You think that after all the shit that went down at the end of that game, they'd be like, yeah, maybe we should pack it up a little bit. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Martin Sheen got to work, baby. I do love the...
He's dead, by the way.
Right? Yeah, he's dead.
It was, but he's dead. Spoilers for Mass Effect 3.
Another spoiler, not a spoiler for Mass Effect 3, that people have kind of theorized. Of course, Awesome have Liara back. Obviously, we're getting back to the original grouping of people, probably. The council will be furious, although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance, which people are kind of pointing to, and it makes sense that the destroy ending, and also the image of them rebuilding a mass relay, that the destroy ending in Mass Effect 3 is the canon one, based on what she says here and based on them rebuilding Mass Effect relays on their own. So that's just a little fun in-world canon thing, that that destroy is the correct choice at the end of 3.
Guys, I want you to put a bookmark in this discussion about Mass Effect, whatever this game is going to be called, because I have a crazy theory about both what this game is called and what that means for the game proper that we don't have time to get into on this podcast, but I desperately want to talk about on a future episode.
Mass Effect Andromeda 2. We came back.
It's somehow even crazier than that.
Hopefully.
How wild that a series that is all about choice and progression and living with your choices has like a canonical ending. Come on.
A lot of games do that.
In my theory, you're wrong.
Oh, shit. Last story of the day. What's up with FF16, says Andy Robinson at VGC. Final Fantasy 16, we've learned, will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive for at least 6 months after its summer 2023 release. That's according to a new marketing video from Sony on Monday, which features footage along with the disclaimer, Final Fantasy 16 is anticipated summer 2023, PS5 exclusive for 6 months. This confirmation potentially paves the way for a PC port in 2024. To date, it's only been announced for PS5. Curiously, the game's 2020 reveal trailer did mention a PC version, but the reference was removed from later revisions of the video. I just want to point out here that while 6 months exclusive on PS5 does open the door to other versions, it does not necessarily guarantee them. If we look at like Final Fantasy VII Remake, that was exclusive for a year, and it is still only available on PC after that. So,
well, that's the thing. People are assuming it's for PC, not necessarily. Right. I mean, I guess it could be for Xbox, but because the thing with 7, which was it's a year of exclusivity, but then I think it was 18 months before it came to PC.
This sounds right. Yeah.
I think, or was it Epic first, and then Steam was 18 months or something like that. I don't know.
It was summer. So yeah, we got the game in it was either late March or early April 2020, and then it was summer of 2021.
So I think the Epic version was summer, and then Steam was fall. That's what it was. And no one wants to buy it on Epic, so it doesn't matter. Basically doesn't exist. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if this means Xbox, but I definitely think it means that PC is 2024 at earliest. So we'll see.
That'll be a big get for in the age of Xbox gobbling up all of these first party studios. Like this is a big get for PlayStation if they're able to hold this as exclusive for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for our quest log. Do we have a segment from Madam? Segment from Madam. Segment from Madam. Do we have one?
What if I made you sing and it didn't have one? No, I do have one. I was just waiting for you to sing.
Nice.
Love it. All right, so this matters and doesn't matter. There's two parts. There's two parts of my segment from Adam. All right. Second part is evergreen, not evergreen, but it's the second part means more in the grand scheme of things for the podcast. The first part is only for us, and by the time you hear the podcast, you'll know the answer to. So it doesn't matter technically.
Okay.
So first part of my segment, this is all about goaties, as Chad loves to call it. He refuses to say Game of the Year. He only says goaties. Awesome. And there was a little thing going around on Twitter. I think Alex was part of it too, where Game Awards was like, hey, Monday at noon Eastern time, we're going to have our 6 nominees for Game of the Year. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. So I respond to this tweet and I said, I think that...
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Save it for a second. We'll get there. That's what I want to do. But by the time you hear the podcast, you'll know it. So we're going to see who does best.
Oh, okay.
So we know there's 6 specifically. So what do we each think are going to be the 6 games on the Game of the Year for Game Award? The Keeleys.
The Keeleys.
That's the first part of the prompt. What do we think the 6 games are going to be? We're going to keep our list, and whoever gets closest wins big prize. Ooh, yeah. So yeah, what do you don't now, Alex? I know you made the tweet. You don't have to use your tweet if you want to do something different, or you can. It's up to you. You're a free man. Do whatever you want. So yeah, who wants to start?
Are you keeping track of these, Adam, somewhere so we can figure out who's a winner?
Do you
let me
guys
open up
already,
a Google Doc real quick.
Do you guys already have your list prepared?
I don't. I'll be making mine up on the top of my
In that
head.
case, I'll go ahead and I'll just go first. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm just going to copy your Twitter, but go ahead and talk.
I am unmoved from my Twitter list, which I posted yesterday, which is God of War Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Tunic, Stray, Sifu, and Kirby.
Bless
I'm sorry,
you.
I was trying so hard to get through those without sneezing. So hard.
Kirby on there in the Forgotten Land, huh?
Yeah, talk us through why you assume... talk us through your list while I'm pulling up the Google Doc. I'm not wasting time at all.
Yeah. So, God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring, of course. Come on. Tunic, I was a little bit surprised to see not that many people putting Tunic on their own respective lists. I think this one might actually have a tougher time getting on here, but Tunic still is, I mean, unless God of War Ragnarok really cranks it up to 12, probably still my game of the year so far of 2022. Stray, I don't think is quite on the same level as the prior 3 games I mentioned, but it still stands out as like a very high quality, very unique game amidst the, legions of big old sad dad dude and Norse-ish setting fighting the undead and various monsters style games we have. Sifu, I think that was one of those games that kind of took a lot of people by surprise, that I think just enough people who kind of have voting rights when it comes to the Game Awards are going to want to vote for. And Kirby might be a little bit on the presumptuous side, but I think that this list would be incomplete without at least one Nintendo nod. And I think a lot of people were also very pleasantly surprised by Kirby, that once again are in voting positions to get Kirby on this list.
Big old mouthful. You can't deny a mouthful.
Can't. So my 6, and I'm still kind of iffy on this. So I also have God of War Ragnarok, Elden Ring, obviously. Let's be honest. And by the way, I've learned to do this because I'm so good at these, because I didn't have to paint my face half last year or whatever it was. I'm so good at Game Awards stuff. So I'm thinking of, what do people in the industry, what would they vote for? What would they want to put on here? So that goes into my thinking. That's like why I don't have Stray on there, because I didn't, after the first weekend of people having videos of their cats looking at the TV, no one talked about Stray. So I'm like, I'm just going, again, industry people didn't talk about Stray, not everyone. So God of War, of course, Elden Ring. I do have Kirby as well, because I think enough people when that came out were like, every time you hear someone talk about Kirby, don't forget about Kirby. It's great. All right. Kirby's on the list. Horizon 2, I think it's on that list. People are like, don't forget about it. It's great. Da, da, da. It's going to get snubbed again. Doesn't matter, but I think it's going to go on the list. And then I have Rogue Legacy 2, because it is one of the highest rated games of the year, and people are big time horny for it. And then I have Immortality, which I think is most games media people's favorite indie game of the year, is Immortality. So God of War, Elden Ring, Kirby, Immortality, Horizon 2, Rogue Legacy 2. I don't know if I want to put Tunic or Neon White in there. Like, I could probably flip like Rogue Legacy for Neon White or Tunic. Probably leaning more Tunic than anything else. But I'm just going to go with this list now. It's a little bit different from Alex. I feel like it's a solid list. So that's what I'm guessing will be the 6 nominees.
Interesting. What a year for games, because I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm definitely going to put, surprise, Elden Ring, God of War in there.
I thought you were going to put no God of War, no Elden Ring just to be that guy.
No, definitely God of War, definitely Elden Ring. I'm going to also put Sifu in there.
All right.
I'm going to also put The Quarry in there.
The Quarry!
The Quarry!
I previously talked about this on a prior episode of the podcast, or maybe it was after a podcast or whatever, but like, I was shocked when I went online and looked up, what people were saying were the best games so far of 2022, and saw so many people put down The Quarry as like one of their favorite games of the year so far. I genuinely think you might be onto something here. I think that game has the potential to be like the dark horse contender of this year.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to win for sure. But like, I think people had a good enough time with that game when it came out that I think it's going to get a nod. I am going to put despite not having played it, I am going to put Horizon Forbidden West on there.
Okay.
And then my last one, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Oh, you're a spicy boy.
That game got some great reviews.
It did.
Yeah, some of these reviews for that game were like 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Metacritic, I think Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope is like the 11th game down for the year, like best reviewed game of the year or something like that. It's pretty high.
Yeah.
I understand that I asked this question with no venom in my heart towards the fact that the game played real weird for me on my TV, on my Switch. What makes you put Mario plus Rabbids over Kirby?
I just feel like it is... I feel like it is more respected as a game than Kirby is. Like, people see Kirby in the... I think of it this way a little bit. It's like, oh, that's a baby game. Like, that's not a full-fledged game for adults. Like, that's a little bit of a baby game. Versus Mario Rabbids, where it's like that takes skill and thought and strategy. And so I feel like people weigh that a little bit more.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. We will know. Podcast listeners, you can go right now and check it out. We'll talk about this next week on the podcast because we currently are unaware.
Ooh. All right, that's it for segment from Adam, and that brings us to game.
That's part 1.
Okay.
Remember I said there's 2 parts.
Okay, that's right. Part two. Part 1, evergreen.
You guys already know the answer to. Part 2 is a big announcement. Have I talked specifically what my plan for game of the year is?
No, I know I've just said you want 1,000 people for it.
Yeah, well, that's not necessarily true. All right, so I'm going to put it out here for Respawn Aim Fire's Game of the Year. Our very specific ideas is... Oh, I just saw a dog do backflip. So sometime in December, this is going to be a 2, maybe 3-part thing. We'll figure it out. So the idea is I want to... Jesus Christ! I want to have a panel.
Jesus.
The Respawn Aim Fire, I know. I'm going to move right through it. Respawn Aim for my idea for the game of the year is we have...
The anticipation is killing me.
My sneezing infected you somehow across the airwaves. I don't know how.
Ay, Dios mío. My plan for Respawn Aim Fire Game of the Year is to have, yes, a panel. I want guests. So this is a shout out. If you want to clip this out, put this on Twitter or whatever. I would like guests to come on, talk about us, and we're going to nominate 8 games to be for an indie bracket, and for an overall Game of the Year bracket. I want to record Indie first because some of that will overlap into Game of the Year potentially. I don't know if we want to split it up and have 2 sets of guests or just do it all at once. We'll figure it out, but we do need guests. We want different, diverse voices. So come on and let us know if you're interested in talking about Game of the Year sometime in December. Second part, again, we make our bracket, we tweet it out, we tag the studios because they're awesome, they deserve the love. Second part, we get us as the host, we come on and we decide, I'm going to do random number generator, it's the only fair way to do it. We're going to get a bracket and we're going to break it down until we get to the final 2 in our overall Game of the Year. Is my plan to do all that in December. So make a bracket with guests. Nice. Us as the host decide what Respawn Aim Fire's Game of the Year is going off of a tournament size bracket. And I'll probably do a thing where, like, hey, if you guess, whoever has the best guess bracket wins a prize. You know?
Ooh! When we get to the final 2, can we, like, tape a disc of both of those games to a couple of chickens and just watch them go at it, see which one wins?
Just have them fight?
What?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Alex, in America, there's a thing called cockfighting.
That's where we make chickens kill each other. An American invention, is it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not South America, North America.
No. Everywhere else it's called chicken fighting, but here is cockfighting because
it's cockfighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my plan. Everyone, put it down. December, if you want to be a guest, hit us up. But in December, we will start doing late December, we'll start doing our Game of the Year bracket, and then we'll make a bracket, and then we'll go through a bracket and a cockfight at the end, apparently. That's what we're going to do. That is now my segment from Adam, Chad.
Perfect. Now it's time for Game On Game Show. The Game On Our Game Show, play a game called Game On, the Game Show on our Game Show. Game. All right. The name of today's game is Al Gore Was Right About Fimbulwinter.
Okay.
Fimbulwinter, if you are unfamiliar, precedes Ragnarok. And it is what has made everything in God of War Ragnarok really snowy in Midgard. But just like climate change and global warming, it affects different climates differently. Like, it's not, global warming doesn't always mean everything's hot. It's just, so Fimbulwinter amplifies certain things about certain climates and certain realms. So it doesn't necessarily mean everything just gets cold. We're going to use that idea in today's game. It's going to be a little bit more just like a collaborative, creative game today. So here's what we're going to do. There are 3 of us. We're going to rotate around once per person. So one person will pick a game. Just pick a pretty well-known franchise so that we all can kind of participate and know what the game is and how it might work. So one person picks a game. The other person has to pick how, or something about that game that Fimbulwinter changes. And then all together, we all like brainstorm how that affects the game mechanics and in fun and interesting ways. Here's an example, because I know that you're thinking like, what does that quite mean? Here's an example. Let's say I say the game we're choosing is Uncharted 4. And then Alex might say, okay, in Uncharted 4, Fimbulwinter comes and turns all the ropes into snakes.
Oh.
Like, oh, wow, what? And so then as a group, we might brainstorm, okay, maybe instead of the grapple mechanic that's in that game, we now have snake whips that eat people. Or instead of pirates, PETA is there fighting against us because we're like hurting snakes and stuff instead of rapes. Yeah. Instead of ropes, not rapes. Those are different. So that's how Al Gore Was Right About Fimbulwinter works. We choose a game, we choose something about it to change or amplify based on Fimbulwinter, and then we all just talk about how that might change the game in fun and interesting ways.
Oh my god, that's such a good one in my head.
Great. We'll start with this is the order. We'll start with Adam. You choose the game. Alex, you choose the Fimbulwinter, and we'll all talk. And then Alex will choose the game. I'll choose the Fimbulwinter, etc., etc.
Gotcha. My game is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay.
Ooh,
which is perfect because Alex knows a lot about this game. So he can choose a good Fimbulwinter about it.
Yeah. My Fimbulwinter idea is fucking wild. But
the problem is that I know so much about the Kingdom Hearts universe that it's difficult for me to narrow down what would be a fun thing to happen. Oh, I know. Because of Fimbulwinter, the many Disney-owned properties within the Kingdom Hearts universe start randomly spazzing and getting swapped in and out with characters from the Warner Brothers label of IP characters.
Okay.
Multiverses hearts.
Everyone's a Shazam. Okay. Yeah, multiverses hearts. WB. How does that change the gameplay in significant ways?
The game is rated mature.
Oh, definitely rated mature. There are titties in this game.
No,
I mean, the moment that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Black Adam shows up in that universe, you know that the hierarchy of the ratings board is about to change.
It's changed forever.
Is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in any other WB property?
I wonder, is Rampage a WB movie?
Let's find out.
Actually, I think it's a Legendary movie, and actually, I'm thinking about it.
Damn it. I want just a bunch of different Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons.
A bunch of different Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What is Fast and Furious?
I
think that's...
Okay, according to Google, Rampage, Central Intelligence, San Andreas, Journey to the something, and Super Pets were all DC movies.
Okay, Super Pets definitely. Okay. I want the darkest shit from Harry Potter to be part of it. I don't know how dark Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically gets, but I want, you know, that scene in Harry Potter and the sixth Harry Potter movie where Dumbledore's like drinking out of that thing and it's like, ugh. I want Sora to like be on the verge of death and there's this island of like shit attacking him as he's drinking this water to get to this Horcrux. Like, I want dark shit. I want a spell that makes blood come out of your pores.
Jesus.
Like, I want Septum Sempra or Sectum Sempra. I want that in this game.
I want like Ratcatcher from the Suicide Squad to show up and you use her as a summon and rats just tear people and turn them into bones. Like, I fucking love that.
Here's the thing though about Harry Potter in the Kingdom Hearts universe. I feel like it would break both universes involved, because in the Harry Potter universe, there's this very clear distinction between muggles, normal people that don't know how to use magic, and magic users. And in the Kingdom Hearts universe, basically anybody can use magic. There are many different means by which you can become a magic user, but like there's no real hard and fast rule saying you are or you are not a magic user there.
Not a Harry Potter world. When you get on that gummy spaceship and go to Harry Potter world, now they're racist.
Fucking
I was going
gummy
to say,
ship.
Sora would arrive in the world of Harry Potter and they'd be like, what's going on? You're a muggle. Why can you use magic? And like,
or he's a mudblood. And then all the racist people are like, you're not pure blood.
Ooh, that's that darkness
wizards,
you were talking about.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
I like this. I like this idea. My idea, just to throw it out there, was instead of Warner Brothers, DreamWorks Animation. So we're hanging out with Shrek, we're hanging out with Boss Baby, hanging out with the trolls, Megamind. That was my dumb idea. I just wanted to see Shrek in a video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See? Successful first round. Alex, now you have to choose a game, and I'll choose a Fimbulwinter for it.
Why, of course, the game that I'm going to be choosing is Cump Jump. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody even knows what Cump Jump looks like anyways.
Oh, I do.
I've been playing it recently. It's on the mind. Let's go with Splatoon 3, or just, well, the universe of Splatoon in general.
Okay, Splatoon. The Fimbulwinter for this one is all the paint is spiders.
Whoa.
How does this
Just
change
waves
the
of
game?
spiders?
All the paint is
Whoa.
spiders.
And I'm just thinking of Plague Tale technology where, you know, they have like 400,000 rats on screen, but now there's just spiders instead of rats.
Now, is the idea that, like, because the squids themselves, the squid kids and the octolings themselves are, like, partially made out of ink in the Splatoon universe. Are they now partially made out of masses of spiders as well?
Ooh, here's the thing, Alex. You've hit on something a little bit. You know how you can, like, because you're part ink, you can like go into the ink, you can swim around and then pop up again? Well, in this one, you dive into the pile of spiders. They fucking eat you alive, and then you like swim through the other side, and then they like reform you out of webbing at the other side. That's how you travel through spiders. So like you're like a web manifestation, a web puppet for spiders.
Oh, so when you say that they eat you, it's just that your form, which is a mass of spiders, like breaks apart, right?
Okay, I'd say so. Originally, you were a person. You were a human person, and then the first time they ate you basically. You know how like in Star Trek they take all of your matter apart and then they reassemble it. Well, the spiders took all of your matter apart. They ate you piece by piece just to get an idea of like how to put you back together, and then they just recreated you out of thread or out of webbing, and now you're a puppet for them. So you were originally a person, but now you're just a spider puppet.
Yeah, sentient spider puppet too.
A sentient, a sentient in a way, like you can understand the pain that you are.
So you still feel the pain. That's the only part you remember. That's good. Yeah. Nintendo's gonna love this.
We think you're gonna love it. Yeah. All right. Fimble. Okay, so now I pick a game, and Adam, you come up with a Fimbulwinter for it. Mm-hmm. The game I'm going to pick is Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead. Okay. Storms. All of the zombies are now 8 to 12 years old.
Oh no! Are they still like child zombies, or are they 8 to 12-year-old real life kids?
Oh, you know what? Because remember, there's always that question, like how many 5-year-olds could you beat up, and then like a 10-year-old comes in every 5th wave. That's what we're doing to video games. So you're fighting hordes of children, and you're like, how many of these can I get through?
Now, in order to make sure this game can get released, and it's not adults only or something that like no one's going to publish for us, all of your weapons now are play school furniture.
Sure. Hitting it with chairs. Yes. And every time they fall on the ground, like they're still breathing barely or whatever. So
right.
No
like Pokemon, they faint. They never die.
Yeah.
So, like,
all these hundreds of children are fainting from getting hit in the head with a baseball bat.
Piles and piles of fainted children covered in blood from play school toys.
It's a great game, right? Because again, I just love the horde mode. But my idea was like, all right, do a cool horde mode, but what's the most ridiculous thing I could make? And it can't be DreamWorks characters, because we already talked about it. It can't be spiders, we already talked about it. So why not 8 to 12-year-old children?
What if it's What if it's the Garbage Pail Kids?
Oh, even better. Those awful.
Because I feel like that's
those things.
Like, I feel like nobody would care if we severely abuse and like beat the shit out of those kids. You know what I mean?
And they'll all have the little cards, and it's like they're 18, so it's fine that we kill these awful garbage pail kids.
Just like when you watch porn, there's the whole disclaimer that comes up, like everyone here is 18 in this video. Like we say that at the beginning.
This anime is about high school kids, but they're all 18. Don't worry. It's like that girl's definitely 14.
She looks like she's 6 years old, but she's actually 6,000 years old.
Yeah,
anime.
Kill garbage pail kids. So I never liked garbage pail kids as a kid. What a nasty fucking. I hate garbage pail kids. They're so fucking gross.
I'd never seen them or heard of them before. I think it was an episode of Sunny in Philadelphia that they were mentioned once. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Garbage pail kids. I thought it was something made up in that universe. And then I looked up Garbage Pail Kids. I was like, oh God, people collect
There's a movie
these?
and everything. Yeah.
I'm assuming neither of you saw the movie, right?
No, I know there's a movie. I've never watched it.
Oh man, that movie, chef's kiss.
I doubt it.
Oh. 1986 Garbage Pail Kids Series 5 Handy Randy going for $1 on eBay right now. Handy Randy, and he's just putting his hand into his forehead and under his chin, and his teeth are his fingertips. Oh,
Jesus.
Fucking
yuck. He was the successor to Kump Jump. He was the one that came out right before him.
Handy Randy.
Handy Randy led to Kump Jump.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking gross. That's it. Remember, Al Gore was right about Fimbulwinter. That's it for Game on Game Show. That is it for our episode 283 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As a reminder, patreon.com/respawnaimfire exists. It's a place where you can go and vote on what games you want us to play. You all voted. I'm watching the stream off to my left, and I saw me do the fingers thing, and it was gross me out. Right. So yeah, you can go to Patreon. You all voted for us for Game of the Year Barf, which is Backlog Accomplishment with Respawn and Friends. You all voted for us to play specific games for consideration for Game of the Year. As a reminder, Adam and I are playing Sifu. Alex is playing Sonic Frontiers. So we will have impressions for those before the end of the year, and they will be included in our Game of the Year wrap-up. You can also go there. I've decided just now, and I know Adam's on board because he's been like, yeah, let's do this. In December, we are going to have an AMA or some kind of like we're just going to answer fun questions that you all give us on stream. Like not necessarily video game related, but just like fun questions. Those questions can be submitted on Patreon in the near future. More information to come on Twitter and patreon.com, and we'll answer those. I think that's all we have for a wrap up this time.
I think so.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for joining us again as a RAF regular. Alex Poo. I forgot what I ended with. I think Pody? Po-pie? Po something. Poo old pork? Poo old pork.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
If Twitter's still alive by the time people hear this, where can they find you?
You can find me at Alex Kozina. They're saying that this upcoming week is the week where the big major stability issues are going to be hitting the platform. So get in on that before it's over.
Woo! Woo!
Fun.
If Twitter dies, where do people find you instead?
I mean, you can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/CozyBearLive, KOZIBEARLIVE. And you know what? You can also find me on Instagram at instagram.com/AlexKozina as well. Although I don't post there very often. Whenever I make like a scrumptious looking dish, I'll post a couple of pictures of what I made there, but I'm not a big Instagrammer for the most part. But follow me there anyways. You never know.
Not a big Instagrammer yet. Just wait till Twitter goes away.
Hey.
Thank you everyone for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Come jump, come jump, come jump, come jump, come jump.